All right, hello everybody, Corey here. In this video, we're going to go over the trades and holdings of the single stock YieldMax ETFs. These are for 22 May. Just a reminder, I am not a financial advisor or a qualified licensed investment advisor. I'm here just to gather the data, present it to you so you can make your own decisions and form your own opinions. YieldMax ETFs are extremely risky. Please ensure that you have read through and understood the risk located on their website and know what you're investing in before doing so. All right, we're going to jump right in here. We've had a few technical difficulties tonight. I was able to get my first video at like 10 o'clock, and for the last 3 or so hours, I've been waiting for all the trades to pull in, or the holdings to update. For some reason, Google Finance just isn't working that great tonight, and didn't want to pull data in. So, yeah, I sat at the computer for hours waiting. But anyway, we're going to jump in here because this will be my last video for the evening. I'm sure there's something I'm supposed to say or that I needed to say, and I'm sorry. I will remember it throughout the video, which may or may not be a part of the video you will be watching. I guess what I'll say up front, I'm sure most of you already know, NVIDIA had great earnings and skyrocketed after hours. We did close red for today, so tomorrow may be green. Who knows? Last time I saw NVIDIA was over 1,020 or something dollars. So, yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's something else, but we will move on. So, AIYY, we have no trades, and we have a short call that expires Friday with a $28 strike price. We're currently underneath that by 11%, so that's good. I'm not going to go over the synthetic here, but you can see it, and that we're significantly underneath it, but it doesn't expire for 2 months. It looks like possible upside if we could get there in the next couple of days, $1.33 for the short call. If we move on to AMDY, this was the last one held out. In fact, it didn't even come in. I actually had it in another sheet. I was able to copy and paste it in here. But this was the last one I was working on. And honestly, if you were watching the daily roundup, I was just starting to do it without it because I was tired of waiting because I thought I was going to get into bed early tonight. But yeah, luckily I created another slide to pull it out just in case I was having formula, or maybe the workbook had too many formulas or something. I don't know. It wasn't working at first, but when I had to go in there for a glitch or something with data not saving in the app, that's when I saw it. So you've got the holdings here. Otherwise, it was just going to be blank, so I apologize. But sometimes you got to do what you got to do, right? But we can see here for this one, which, with that said about NVIDIA, you know, AMDY is possibly going to go with it along with some other stocks out there. So just keep that in mind. We're currently below the short call strike price of $175, 5%. However, that's $9.50 jump. With NVIDIA jumping the way it did, there's no telling what this could do or mean for AMDY or AMD if you own that as well. That one, I might be selling my AMD in the next few days. And then when it goes back down, I'll buy it back. But we will see. I know. I should buy and hold, but if I see it and it's way up, I can't help but sell it. I don't know. If it's in my other account or something that I don't look at very often, then I might, I won't see it when it happens, stuff like that. But anyway, let's move on over here. Looks like we have about a 95-cent upside for this. just for the short call alone. So that could get us to maybe 1850 tomorrow, and then we may still be able to go up some for the synthetic. But I don't know. We will see how it plays out. Let's move on to AMC. I'm sorry. I'll try to do a little bit better getting through the rest of these a little faster, but I can't promise anything. Okay, AMC. They added 105 contracts to the synthetic and the short call with a strike price of 187.50. It looks like Amazon went down a couple of cents today. I've been hearing, I don't know, in the trading podcast thing I listen to, about how Amazon's been going down this week. I don't really know why or what's going on. I know I did hear something about Amazon pulling some of NVIDIA's chips, which is when I had mentioned in the Discord. I don't even know if that was this morning or yesterday, but I don't know. The stock was starting to go down after that, and I had mentioned something about possible buying opportunity. For NVIDIA, that is. But as far as actually anything going on with Amazon, I truly don't remember as far as anything bad that the stock is going down. But anyway, we have two short calls that expire Friday, 187.50 and 190. We're currently below those by 2 and 4%. Looks like a possibility of, I don't know, maybe 35, 40 cents. No, because we have a lot more shares at the first strike price. So maybe only about that 34 cent for the short calls, and maybe a little bit for the synthetic. As far as upside goes, let's move on to Apple. We have no trades here. We have two short calls that expire on Friday, 190, 192.50. So we're over the 190 by 90 cents. We don't have a lot of contracts here, but it is a good portion, 515 contracts of the overall 3,380 contracts. And then the 192.50, of course, we're below that. The stock price is below it by 1%, which is $1.60. So will NVIDIA bring up the entire stock market tomorrow? I don't know. Will it sell off when the market opens because of how big it went up overnight? I don't know. But I would just say keep an eye on all of your assets tomorrow. So anyway, let's move over here. So possible upside, yeah. I mean, there is some possible upside. 12 cents, maybe not. Maybe 10 cents for the short calls or whatever, just because there's not as many in the lower level, but, it's still going to go negative, keep going negative, while the other one may still be going positive. So, just to make sure you know that. Coney here, we don't have any trays, but we do have 3 short calls that expire Friday, and we are above all of them. So we actually ended up closing at 231.51. I believe Bitcoin tried to go up today, but in the end it just closed down, or at least the regular stock market close, it was down. Was it? Well, now that I think about it, I don't even know if the ticker BTC pulls, if it's closed, is it 4 p.m.? I've never thought about it until just this second. So I may have to check that out the next time I think of it, that is. But anyway, we're over all of the short calls. So it looks like we did go up a few cents today. I know I said we were going to try to go quickly, but let's look. So we weren't over the one strike price yesterday. So that would be, and well, it's not a lot of contracts at that one either, though. Yeah, so we basically only had 1 cent maybe of upside, which of course was going to be knocked out by the other ones being negative. So I'm going to guess that, what was it, that little bit amount that I said we came up. So this was 82, 22, hold on. Yeah, so the synthetic is where that upside is coming from, obviously, because you can see the short call went down. The outstanding shares also went up a couple of 100,000 shares, but they didn't buy anything extra there. Sorry, looking at the bottom at their negative cash, but then they have their money market. So, but anyway, yeah, the synthetic is what ended up bringing the share price up today. So if they don't do any trades tomorrow, and we end up going up some, it's only due to the synthetic, so it won't go up as much. And you'll see that if we go down, once we get to Murney, we'll look at it. But it did a lot of trades today, so it makes it a little bit whatever, but it was really capped. But we'll look at that. So we have Dizzo here, no trades. We have 2 short calls that expire Friday with 104 and 105 strike price. And it looks like we went up 1 cent today. Well, Disney went up 1 cent. Dizzo went up 2 cents. But it's at 103. So we're below those strike prices 1 and 2%. And it looks like we have about a 30-cent upside if we can get up to the 105 strike price there over the next couple of days. Let's go to Phoebe. We have 3 short calls that expire on Friday. No trades to go over. We have strike prices 472.50, 482.50, and 485. We're below those strike prices by 1, 3, and 4%. Looks like a possibility of upside of maybe, 20, 30 cents for the short calls here. And then GDXY, sorry, Google's acting stupid and doesn't recognize the ticker today, and I was just too lazy to bring it over from the daily roundup, so I apologize. But I'll tell you it's low. You can see the NAV is 1906. I believe it was 1910. I've never followed GDX or even looked at it, so I don't know how the volatility is normally on this, or even what happened today. So I don't know how this fund's gonna work. I don't know, maybe today was a fluke, but I think this is only day 2 for GDXY. But they added 270 contracts to the synthetic position and created a short call with a $37 strike price. We also have 2 other strike calls, 38 and 38.50 strike prices. We're below those 4, 7, and 8%. The majority of the contracts are at that 38.50. And I don't know why they say NA. Oh, because the stock price is NA. So that's why. All right. But we can see the synthetic there. It's a $38 strike price. Of course, again, it's a couple of months away, but we're below the strike price. What is that? $2.55 now. But it's bringing the GDXY price down $1.18. So we're going to go on to GUI here. We have no trades, 2 short calls that expire Friday, 177.50 and 180 strike price. We're below those 1 and 2%. Almost all of our contracts are at the 177.50 strike price, and we're only $1.12 away. So depending on what happens tomorrow, we could possibly go past that. We can see that yesterday we were past that 177.50. So it looks like we have a possibility of 11 cent upside for the short calls to get to the 177.50 strike price. All right, so let's move down to JPMO. JPMO had no trades, had 2 short calls with that will expire Friday with a strike price of 200 and 202.50. We're below those 1 and 2%, and it looks like we have about a 35 cent upside for the short calls there. All right, so let's look at Murney. So this one's hard because they did trades, but I want to look at yesterday. Should put my pen down when I do these videos. I'm sure that pecking can get annoying because you hear it. It would annoy me anyway. But I know I'm weird sometimes. So we were both over both of these strike prices yesterday, 5 and 4%. This was not looking good. We had only gone up 15 cents from the day before, so let's look at the day before. And we were over the strike prices the day before. Is this one like where we were over the strike prices since Monday? I know this takes a little bit of a minute, but this is something good we can look at because what we want to see is trends, right? We want to see how things change to get an idea of how they work. So we were not over the strike prices on Monday. The stock price was at about 133 on Monday, and we were at 2090. And then the next day, we ended up going up 63 cents, but we were above our strike price, but we did go up 63. So what did we say over here? So this shows it split evenly 31 and 39 cents, so that makes that 70 cents. But we would normally think, because one would go up and go above it, then the other one would bring it down, but that's synthetic up there. So this synthetic here was worth 73 cents a share before it went over. And then over here, so we went from the synthetic being worth 73 cents a share to being worth $1.91 a share. And so this is what I try to explain and talk about, that even though we're going above the short call, it doesn't mean that we're necessarily just going to stop, at that possible upside, because the synthetic keeps being, it'll be worth more and more the more the stock price goes up, and it may be worth more than how much we would owe for the short calls, right? And so that's how the stock price is going up more than these. That's also why then I say, based on the short call, there's this upside possibility, but then there would be additional upside if the synthetic possibly goes up above those. And so you can see that here, 2090. We went up, 63 cents between these two. And then if we look here, we're already up. Then we go from 21.53 to 21.63. So we jumped up 15 cents a share. but we kept going further over those short calls. And then you can see that the market value per share price went from $1.91, being worth $1.91 for the synthetic, to being worth $2.29. So 9, it's 38 cents there. Of course, yeah, this went up 38 cents, but these went down, being worth less at the bottom. 70, 83, and $1.15. So yeah, anyway, I just wanted to go back so you could see how that worked with one of these, that the stock can still possibly go up even if you've gone over the strike prices. It just depends on, the market value of those short calls and of the synthetic itself. So then we would jump just to look. We jump from, well, now we won't be able to tell because they actually did the trades. So if we go over here to today, it looks like we only went up 10 cents today, but they did have trades. So let's look at the trades. So that's probably why we didn't go up as much today as we did on the other days. And I did rearrange these. So those first two lines at the top, those are the synthetics, and those will roll down here to the bottom. I know I put them in a weird order, but it's because of how they group some things. But anyway, so those two at the top roll to those at the bottom, and they go from a 130 strike price to a 160 strike price. So you can see these two almost canceled each other out, but they made a bunch of money up here, and then they had to pay a little bit on this. But what they did was these short calls. So they had these 3 short calls that were going to expire this Friday. Actually, it was 2. They have these split up into 3 lines, though, because they pay different prices for them. But these were the ones that they were way over. And so you can see, just to close out these short calls here, it cost them almost $6.1 million. So, let's see our totals. Yeah. So by closing this out up here, they made, or rolling this, they made almost $7 million. Of course, then they had to pay a little bit for this. But anyway, so they did that, but then what they did was that this one? Yeah. Because you can see they closed out at 2,200, 2,200, and then 2,200. Well, their new buy-ins were only 1,910. So I don't know. Does that mean that people sold out of 290 of them? Well, yeah, it would, because the numbers would match up over here. Yeah, 1910, 1910. Yeah, so it looks like a lot of people sold out of this. Probably once they saw, them being above the strike prices, or even taking profit, because I think I looked this one up today to see where this stock had gotten as far as 52-week high, or which, well, in this case, that's its all-time high also. And I will say that I am I think 100%, let's go with the 99% sure that I sold all of my money today. I think I did. And because I expect this is going to go back down. This has happened. However, I will say Murney has not gone this high. So it had gotten up to the 120s And I don't know if it even got up, and then it just kept falling back to about 105, and then it just kept going up and down. But I don't know about this one. I didn't realize, though, I didn't know the news story with this today. I guess I should have checked, but I'm just listening to stuff more than anything because I'm working and I only have maybe an hour or so break with lunch throughout the day. So, yeah, but I think I sold out of this. But I don't think I had much. Because there was a couple of them I went and looked for, and I was like, I could have sworn I owned a lot more of this or whatever. And I don't know, maybe I've sold out of them over the past few months. But because I don't ever really have a lot of time, my tracker isn't updated. So I can't just look on a spreadsheet and know what I have and where I have it. So, yeah. But anyway, I know I'm just getting way off track here, or talking probably more than I should. I apologize. So you can see the 1910 there, which we've already gone over those, and we went over the close because we have to go back to that tab to see that data. But now we see our new here, and our short call, if I did not mention it, but it was there. It doesn't expire, the new one, until next week. So they went ahead and rolled this one to next week. But it's a 185 strike price, and we are underneath that by 12% right now, and we're 2% above our synthetic. I guess they must really believe in this one, because I haven't personally really seen them do this with the other ones. But I guess they really believe in this, and they don't think it's going to drop back down, because we're up to a 160 strike price now on that synthetic. And that would be devastating to this fund. Of course, we're 2 months out, but it would be devastating for this to turn around and then just drop straight down, to the 120 area. I'm not tried to say it will. I'm saying, I don't know. It could. It's been doing it. I know this catalyst apparently was big and huge, and so I don't know. We will see. But it looks like a possible upside of $2.55 on this. I can't even think now. This short call. But the bad thing is, right, is this one's been going up, and Murney did not get to participate, right? And I'm thinking there's so many ways that I could do this. No. Why would I do that? What are you doing? Let's do this. MRNY. And mRNA. And let's do the last 5 days, because I honestly have no clue what's been happening here. All right, so yeah, you can see here. So Monday, it was after Monday that we had this, whatever, right? I hate touching this. But Monday we were okay, and then I don't even know. I guess I'd have to click on this. So this tells me the times. So sometime after this is when the stock price. So this gray area there is the day of May 21st, which is when the strike price went over. And then you can just sort of see it's been flat. Yeah, it's gone up a tiny bit, but it hasn't gone up much. In fact, let's just change this specifically for the 2 days. And then you can see it right there starting on the 21st. I guess it dipped down and then it went up. And then look at Murney. It has gone up 1%, while Murney has gone up 16. So, yeah, it sucks. All right, anyway, it's still, right, you got a good price. It's just that unless you owned Moderna, you know, as we know, it caps the upside. It just didn't move a lot. And unfortunately, I think I sold my Moderna shares the other day, only because, like I said, it had been coming up to 120, 130, and then dropping back down. So I was just going to buy it back in when it went back down, and it did not go back down. Things happen. Okay. Let me do my very best now to get through these. I just know that's one to look at and explain, because I know lots of times we're just looking at strike prices. It's not often that we get these, and I should do separate videos to talk about these, but then I'll never get around to it. I still haven't got around to doing the AIYY video or some other things I wanted to do. So this one's here and fresh in our minds. So let's just move on. MSFO. We have a short call that expires on Friday, 425 strike price. We're already over that by 1% as we closed at 430.52. So no upside here for the short call. And let's see. So Microsoft didn't go up that much. It only went up about $1.50. But MSFO didn't even change 1 cent. So there wasn't really anything going on here with this one, but it is capped there. And then we have Misty here. We have a short call, 1830. We're below that by 10% right now. MicroStrategy went down a little bit. It looks like Misty actually closed up. But it looks like a possible upside of $3.44 for Misty if MicroStrategy could get up to the strike price. And then we have Nefli here. They added 40 contracts to the synthetic and created a new short call for the 40 contracts with a strike price of $6.55. We also have a strike price of $6.30, and the stock price is at $6.40. So we're 2% above the $6.30 strike price and 2% below the $6.55 strike price. So if we look over here, we don't have any upside possible for our short calls. So the question will be, will we go up any based on the synthetic? It looks like today we only went up 3 cents. Well, we went up 3 cents, and Netflix dropped $10. I'm going to guess we went up to 3 cents because of the money. Nope, because we didn't make money off of this. We actually lost money on this trade, the upfront, obviously. And I say that because here we paid $123,000 for these 40 contracts because the call right there was very expensive, $240,000. I just want to double check. Anyway, so what I wanted to do is look at here yesterday for Netflix. So we were at 640, went to 650, and then went back down to 640 is what has happened here. And of course, all of these days we've been over the strike price. Yeah, we were over the strike price Tuesday, and let me guess, we probably weren't over it on Monday. Yeah, I guess Tuesday was a green day for us. I don't remember at this point. But we had a 24-cent upside, which would have got us to, is that 20, 30, 41. And it took us exactly to 1741. So that's amazing that actually worked out. But we jumped from 620 to 640. Of course, we're over the strike price here. And then we went from 1741 and we went up 11 cents. So we got 11 cents off of the synthetic by going up $20, or no, going up $10. And then we're going to go back down $10. And then we go up a few cents. All right. Anyway, I tried to get through that one a little quicker. Just wanted to see how that had follow that through there. But yeah, I think we'd already looked at this. No upside for the short calls. Possible upside for some on the synthetic, though. And then if we look at NVIDIA here, we have no trades, but we have two short calls that expire on Friday, 9.50 and 9.75 strike prices, which are gone. Because, yeah, right here, this second, we were 9.40, 9.50 at the close today, but then we had earnings. And last time I saw it was, over, $1,000. I don't know where we closed at 8 o'clock. But, yeah, we ended up closing at $1,007. Looks like the peak in after hours was $1,023. So hopefully this is the case where our synthetic at least gives us a little extra upside that we wouldn't have gotten otherwise. So all we can do is hope there. But, I do remember somebody saying about the NVIDIA stock price. Of course, again, it's after hours. But let me just check. I can't remember what was said. But I think we only have one earnings left, and that's going to be C3AI. So NVIDIA was only up to $28 in the after hours. It looks like at the same peak with NVIDIA, it got up to $28.11, but at the 8 o'clock close, it was $27.99. So, not sure where we're going to go from there. But our 52-week high is 27.18. So it looks like we will hit our 52-week high tomorrow. We'll see. I guess we'll have to see how it goes pre-market. Anyway, we're going to move on to OARC. We do not have any trades here. We have one short call at the $46 strike price, and we're currently underneath that 2% or $1. Possible upside of 25 cents for this short call. Then we have PayPay here. They added 75 contracts to the synthetic and created a new short call for the 75 contracts at the $64 strike price, which were under by 3%. And then we also have a $65 and $66 strike prices, and we're underneath those 4% and 6%. It looks like at least a 30-cent, maybe 35-cent up increase just on the short calls alone there. Of course, so if we go above those short calls, then we'll be above the strike price of the synthetic, which is right now negative 64 cents. So that would actually be positive if we were above that. So we could have, 60 or so cent increase there if we got up to that strike price of $66. In fact, looking at this, it dropped 60 cents. 50, 60, yeah. It dropped 60 cents from yesterday. But PayPay went down, Squee went down. I think Affirm, Shopify, all of those types of things on news about them being treated similar to credit cards and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I did not read the stories, but there's a story out there, just to let you know. So then we move down here to Squee, and that doesn't make sense. So let me make sure I didn't check. And oh, yeah, this was one of the last ones, and I did not. So it's not pulling from the right place. So let's look here. So all the data is not coming. Okay, because it's actually looking on a different tab. So we can see here that they added to the synthetic, so that's not pulling over there, but they did add 80 contracts to the synthetic over there. You can see they brought in a few $100s for that. And then, of course, then they have the new short call here. So I brought in just a little bit of money there. So let's see, 3, 4, okay, just count all that up. So yeah, we have 4 short calls. We have 71, 73, 74, and $75 strike prices. We are underneath those by 5, 8, 9, and 10%. Wow, we have a lot of upside if we can go back up, but we also dropped a lot today, so it looks like we dropped $1.25. So obviously we'd be able to go back up the $1.25. That short call they just put on isn't a lot of contracts, so it's not going to be a lot there, but we should still be able to come back up from that. But when, I don't know. We will see. We have Tesla here. Tesla, 2 short calls with 180 and 185 strike price. This one had went up on recent news as well. It's currently only 11 cents above the strike price, but it was. Man, was that today? I think things happened today that I think was yesterday. Like, I don't know. Maybe because I didn't get enough sleep last night. I don't know. But I'm looking here. I could have sworn it was like way up. No, I guess, well, okay. Maybe it was yesterday. I guess it was yesterday. Yeah, right after the close yesterday, they were up to 187. Of course, then they're back down to 180. So kudos to all of you that got crash when it was low, when it got up to that peak. But anyway, so again, that one's at the current strike price, and the other one we're below it by 3%. So it looks like about a 33-cent increase possible, or around 30 cents for that 185 strike price for the short calls. And then we have a Zomo here. We have 2 short calls that expire Friday, 119 and 120 strike prices. We're below those by 3 and 4%. Looks like we have about a possible 50-cent upside there. Then we have Crash with no trades. We have 2 short puts, 162.50 and 172.50. We are currently above those by 11 and 4%. There are synthetics there. So we have that 170 strike price for the synthetic, and we are over that 6%. So that's bringing the stock price down $1 But you can see here that the stock price actually ended up coming up. What is that, 52 cents today, because Tesla dropped $6.50 today. But anyway, yep. So, and then YMAG here, if you just want to know the prices, 2015, and YMAX was at 2022. But sorry for the long video. I know we went back and looked at a few of these after being, over their strike price for days, and see how those looked. I appreciate you bearing with me if you made it through. Anyway, thank you for everybody for joining me. For those of you that watch my videos, I know these don't seem to be as, even though we have 20 or so ETFs here, this isn't as popular, but I don't know. To me, I prefer this one, going through this, than I do all of the other videos, which is why I continue to do this one, because there are 20 ETFs here. I want to look at them to see how they're doing, and yeah. I know I probably should have stopped this video at this point, or, doing these, since they don't do very well, and you know, just a few people watch these a day, but I appreciate you if you watch them. Hopefully you're gathering something out of these. I know I am, especially when I'm comparing and going back, and we're talking a little bit more in depth besides just the strike prices and stuff for the day. Just so we can see trends and see how these things are working, because that's what I like to do. I like to know how things work, which is why I started this to begin with. But anyway, if you are still watching this, then you either like it, or you're getting something out of it, or you fell asleep listening to me, which I'm told is possible. But if you are still awake and you got something out of this, and appreciate you doing it, if you could just give me a thumbs up there. I don't ever ask for it. I know I'm told I should ask for it more, and I will try to do better with that and see how it works. Apparently, it will do better for the videos in the channel if I do, if we do. But anyway, I appreciate y'all, and I will talk with y'all later. Thanks. Bye.